Aloha, everyone, and welcome to New Earth for Everyday People. My name is Julie Suen. I'm your host, a friend, and a New Earth guide. I want to start today's episode by inviting you to participate in a very simple mantra exercise together. And how we go about doing this is we just take a deep breath together, like that, and just relax. And from our heart space, we're going to say a very simple mantra that goes like this. I open my mind, my heart, and soul to creating new possibilities of higher outcomes. Again, I open my mind, my heart, and soul to creating new possibilities of higher outcomes. Yay! All right, let's get started. Today's episode is the first episode of this series, and we're going to focus on the subject of what is New Earth? Why is it happening? And why does it even matter to you? Great questions, right? Let's get started by explaining what is New Earth from this New Age spirituality perspective. And this has nothing to do with Eckhart Tolle's book, and it's got nothing to do with Christianity, okay? New Earth in this context is an upgrade in consciousness where our planet is making available higher dimensional levels for herself and for us, humanity. And a very basic premise of everything that I'm talking about today is that our planet, who I call Mother Earth, is a living, breathing being who has a consciousness of her own. And she, like each and every one of us and every other living thing on this universe, has an objective of expanding and evolving. So all planets have a spirit and consciousness of their own. And everything on the planet that is living is affected by the planet's consciousness. And symbiotically, all the living things on the planet also affects that planet's consciousness. So what I'm trying to say is that as we expand and evolve in our consciousness, so does the Earth, and vice versa. Okay, so that brings us to where we are now, New Earth. It's a time where our planet is undergoing a consciousness upgrade, and so are we. And many of us are actually waking up at this time as a result. And by waking up, I mean waking up to our souls, where we kind of start seeing how connected we are to the universe and everything and everyone around us. Sometimes we call this a soul awakening or a spiritual awakening. So regardless of what it's called, I consider this a pretty good thing. Okay, moving on. I'm going to zoom out for a second and talk about Earth's role in the galactic system. So planets have relationships to each other, and planets have relationships to the solar system. Earth is a part of a greater galactic system, and there within exist other beings in the cosmos. And some of these beings have an interest in assisting our planet in her evolution too. So these beings are many light years ahead of us already, and they've gone through their consciousness evolution. So these beings are here to help bring us up to speed, if you will. So New Earth conceptually started as our planet made a call out to the cosmos for help, has reached a very stale stage where our planet felt like she couldn't evolve as a consciousness being on her own. And in a sense, us humans during that time was stuck too, and we weren't moving forward in our consciousness evolution. So as everything in the universe follows natural cycles in evolution, this cycle where we were stuck was called the Dark Ages. And right now, Earth, New Earth, is going through a relatively progressive transition. And this is sometimes referred to as the Golden Age. So where does that term come from, the Golden Age? The Golden Age is something that has been foretold by ancient wisdoms. So before I dive in further into that, I want to make a disclaimer at this time. And the disclaimer is that I'm not a scientist, nor am I a historian. I want to point this out now because I want to say from the get-go, if you try to analyze any of this information that I'm talking about today with your analytical mind, try to base it on some kind of facts, it's just not going to work. This is a New Age spirituality subject. And although you don't have to be spiritual to understand or to benefit from this information, you need to have at very least an open mind and have the ability to listen from your heart, because your soul resonates with truth from your heart. If something is true on a soul level, you will feel it from your heart space. Okay, so moving along. The Golden Age. The ancients and the astrologers talk about the age of Aquarius and the dawn of the Golden Age. And there is a very significant date in the New Earth timeline that is relevant to this. And this very special date, as you may already know, is December 21st, 2012. This is the date that marked the end of an approximately 5,000-year solar cycle, according to the Mayan calendar. And this date has been talked about as the end of the Mayan calendar. Why is this significant? From the astrological perspective, this was also the dawning of a final 2100-year zodiac cycle. And that cycle was the dawning of the age of Aquarius, which is also the arrival of the Golden Age. The Golden Age signifies the end of a 225 million year full spin of our entire galaxy, marking the end of all cycles of time. This coincides with the findings of Thomas McKenna in his novelty theory. He formulated a concept about the nature of time based on fractal patterns that he observed in the I Ching system. And in very simplified terms, what he found is that when more things happen within a period of time, time feels like it's going faster. And that when a lot of things are happening in the universe, in this theory, time accelerates. Also using this theory, he predicted a transition of consciousness in the end of 2012. This is December 2012, which he called time wave end date, when everything in the universe starts to flow in singularity or flowing together as one. Okay, so going back to the ancient civilizations. Multiple ancient civilizations, with their knowledge of astronomy and astrology, shared an understanding that our sun is a gateway that directs energy from our galactic center to Earth. And they share this knowledge that there is a galactic alignment of the sun and the Earth every 26,000 years. So there is this 26,000-year cycle that the Hindus divided into 4 yugas, whereas the ancient Greeks divided this cycle into 4 ages. Modern astrologers refer to this 26,000 year cycle as the precession of the equinoxes. So this is where the astrologers see that the Earth travels backwards through the entire 12 signs of the zodiac. And this journey is caused by the Earth's spins on its axial shift in relation to the sun. Okay, so regardless of what this is called, there is one similarity amongst all of this shared wisdom. And it says that this cycle signifies an evolution of consciousness. This is following the natural rhythms or the natural laws of the universe. An example of this kind of natural cycle is like when we fall asleep at night and then we wake up during the day. Or as seasons change from winter to summer. A complete 26,000 year cycle of the equinoxes transitions us through the dark ages into the golden age, which is the age of spiritual enlightenment. This is where we are at right now. And we've arrived here since December 2020. So the technical, factual-based science may not support these New Age theories or of these astrology or ancient wisdoms. That's, again, not the purpose of my discussions here. Yet I want to draw some parallels in the physical shifts that we can observe on our planet with what has been foretold. So since 2012, there has been things like significant electromagnetic shifts. There has been dramatic increases in solar flare activities. There has been increases in the severity of seismic activities. Our magnetosphere is weakening. And there has been evidence of unprecedented ice cap changes in migratory patterns of birds, dolphins, and whales. And there has been observations of multiple Earth wobbles. Finally, the Earth is spinning faster than ever before. So why am I mentioning all of this? It's because ancient texts have foretold that during the shift of the ages, cosmic events would create magnetic grid shifts and electromagnetic changes within our planet. So there has been documented physical evidence of these changes. And in the context of the new Earth, the increase of solar flares triggered a rapid decrease of Earth's magnetic field and gravitational pull. What I'm trying to say is this. On the consciousness level, these physical changes on our planet is doing something to change the structure of our physical bodies. And what it's actually doing is it's helping us collapse the matrix, which is a third dimensional control-based system that has been running humanity's consciousness. Okay, so I will go into talking about the matrix system more in later episodes. But going back to the discussion of the new Earth paradigm that we are in now, what I'm trying to say is that these planetary shifts are helping us release old operating systems within us. Changes on our planet is breaking down the level of density. And what I'm talking about is the density of a duality system that has been running this planet's consciousness. So these energies now are helping us in releasing outdated beliefs or subconscious fears, habits, or outdated patterns of thinking and doing things. In this evolutionary era, on a consciousness level, our planet is helping us remember who we really are as souls. what's happening is that we are less weighed down on a magnetic level. We are less weighed down by subconscious fears or control-based systems in our operating paradigms, because our bodies are linked magnetically to the Earth. The expansion of the Earth's magnetic polarity from lower dimensional consciousness to higher dimensions helps us release these lower based belief systems that do not resonate on an energetic level with the new Earth. For example, fear, greed, hate, and violence. These are the paradigms of the Dark Ages. And all of this is dissipating right now with new Earth energies. As the darkness continues to fade, love will be the dominating frequency of the new Earth paradigms. New paradigms are going to replace the old systems that were fear-based, egocentric creations. It's also been said in these ancient texts that in all previous cycles of golden ages, we have missed our opportunity to ascend, or in other words, upgrade our consciousness on the Earth. So this is where I segue into why this discussion even matters for you or me at this time. It's because we have been through this 26,000 year cycles, and we are now in it again. We are in the golden age, an opportunity that is here right now for you and me and all of us, humanity. Regardless of how spiritual you are, it doesn't matter if you know how to meditate or not. Regardless of what you've done in the past, regardless of what you've been through, whether you've done good things or bad things, New Earth is still here to support all of us. But there's a catch. And the catch is this. We have to choose. And that choice is whether or not we choose to live in higher states of consciousness. For everything I have explained so far, I hope I've made it clear to you that New Earth is not actually a place. And obviously, it's not another planet. It's another state of dimensional awareness. Okay. Which means you have to be aware. And once you have the awareness, you have to make the choice to commit in living in a higher dimensional state, like operating your life from a place of unconditional love. That is where we get to transit into the new Earth paradigm way of living. And why would you choose to do that? Why would you choose to live in the new Earth paradigm? Great question. The reason is because in return, you get to experience a new way of life. And this new way of life from higher states of consciousness is where you get to feel less fear, less limitations, more freedom, and just more love on a day-to-day level. In other words, life just becomes that much easier. I think that sounds pretty awesome. But again, the choice is up to you. And you don't need to know the term New Earth. And this is where I have observed in my own circle of friends, for example, people who are not introduced to this new age concept of New Earth. I can see that they are experiencing awakening. They are experiencing a way of shift in the way that they operate. because they're feeling the energies too. So we don't need to know that new earth, whatever that is called. It's just a matter of feeling into the energies and operating from higher states and making higher choices. On a personal level, I want to share with you that ever since I was a child, and I spent my childhood in Hong Kong, I've always felt like this planet felt kind of like a rat race. It always feels like we have to chase after things. We always have to rush somewhere. We have to strive to be better. We have to strive to be somebody. And in order to become someone and be somewhere in life. So around 2012 is when my awakening to my soul happened. And it's also around that time I started my move to Hawaii. In my own soul's evolution, which is, of course, always ongoing, I've come to a very important realization. And this realization relates to the new earth. This realization is that whatever problems we experience in life, or whatever problems we see outside in the world, even really big issues, the tool or the solution in resolving these problems is within us and has always been within us. That is because a reality is not what it seems. For example, in quantum science, there is this theory of observer effect. The observer effect says that what the observer is seeing is also affecting what is being seen. In other words, the reality that you're seeing right now is, in a sense, created by your observation of it. Your perspective creates your reality. Therefore, to shift realities is by first shifting your own perspective within. And when you change your perspective to that of a higher level of consciousness, well, what happens is that the reality shifts around you into a higher state. For example, if you want to see a more loving world, you have to be first in a higher state of love at all times. Okay, so I know that your soul already has all of this knowledge. And New Earth is here for your energetic support to help you remember who you are as a soul and help you remember how to create a reality from a higher level of consciousness. And then everything else that has happened in our past, that has happened, for example, from a lower density level, that was just an earth game. We're here to start anew. And we'll talk more about that in later episodes. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. And in the next episode of New Earth for Everyday People, we will be talking about how to create new realities. And I'm very excited to share about that. Until next time, aloha.